Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Yes,
Is the recording?
I knew you were going to ask that. I pressed record 20 minutes before I even opened the Zoom
Okay.
call,
Okay. Yeah. No, just in case, I don't
just
want
in
you
case.
to.
So, so tonight we're going to be talking about something that George and I have been chatting about the last little while, and it's called "Don't Dance." Don't dance for people. Don't make people let you dance. You've got to dance with people. So what we mean by that is you've heard Onyx Cole talking many times, when we approaching people and you sort of like you're dancing with people. You move, they move. You move, they move. And I've sort of covered that in that getting started with a bang training that I did, of how you send people little bits of information and not overwhelm them. And then the other part is dealing with negative people. So before we jump straight into that, I was talking about the getting started with a bang training that I did. I did that just before leaving for the USA, and that's years of experience that we have put it together where we're talking about how do you approach a person about LifeWave, and you know what, we get excited. Let me tell you something. I think I've blown a few people out of the water, and I don't think I'll ever come back again. And that's self-inflicted. Because sometimes we can be like a little bit of a bull in a china shop. I can do that, and I get so excited about something, and then you know what happens? You end up puking on people. You just put so much information that a person's like, "Oh, this is too much information." And I covered that so beautifully in the getting started, where I'm not going to like rehash it, but I'll tell you where I'm going with this. Um, just giving people little bits of information that they can chew on, and just keep everything into perspective. Now, when I was in the USA, when I went to on my trip to the convention, I spent a month in the USA, and on the drive back, I stopped off in Charlotte, North Carolina. Now, there's a gentleman that I met about 4 years ago. I don't know if anybody's ever read the book called The Sales Bible. There's another book that this gentleman wrote. It's called The Little Red Book of Selling. There we go. The person's name is Jeffrey Gitomer. He's a New York Times #1 bestseller. He's actually written and published 27 books. And when he talks, he speaks on a stage in front of about, sure, 30,000 people. That's the level that this man is at. What happened was I bought that book, The Sales Bible, 20 years ago. And then I was also listening to this man's audio tapes because for 10 years of my life, I was in direct sales. And I probably listened to the Little Red Book of Sales in my car to my university on wheels. And I listened to it easy 20 times. I felt like I knew this man personally. Then what happened was 6 years ago, my children immigrated with their mom to the USA. Guess where they immigrated to? Charlotte, North Carolina. So, everything in life goes into your subconscious mind. And what happened was the first time I went to go see them, I was just orientating myself. First time I went to the USA. Then on my second trip to North Carolina, popped into my mind and I thought, hang on, Jeffrey Gitomer. Okay, guys, he's now 77 years old, but this guy's famous, right? Well-known, famous author. I remembered in his book, he said he was from Charlotte, North Carolina. So you know what I did? His email was in his book. So I wrote him an email. I said, "Hi, Jeffrey. Now I'm quite nervous, eh? All right. So I'm like kind of, my name is Chris. You don't know me. I'm from South Africa, down at the bottom of Africa, and I feel like I know you, and you've written all these books, and I would really love to meet you for coffee. I know I'm taking a long shot here, so I just like pressed send, and I thought this guy will never respond to me. I mean, this guy's like too wealthy, too popular, too busy. Guess what, guys? 2 days later, Jeffrey Gitomer emailed me back, and he said, "Hey, Chris, so nice to meet you. Thank you for reaching out. Let me know when you get to North Carolina. I'd like to meet you for coffee." And I thought, oh my word. So I got there, and this was 3 years, sorry, 4 years ago. Myself, my kids, we met with Jeffrey. Long story short, I got his WhatsApp number, and just before I left for the USA, I sent Jeffrey a WhatsApp. And I said, hey, Jeffrey, how you doing? Long time no speak. I'm coming to the USA in 2 weeks' time. I'm coming to a convention. Hey, Chris, long time no speak. What are you coming for? I said, I'm coming to a stem cell reactivation conference. I'd like to see you, and I'd like to share the patches, and I'd like to reverse your age. Are you, would you like to know more? So he replied back saying, like, put WHAAAAAAT. What? Tell me more. Guys, you know what I did? All I sent him was the 2-minute clip and startxd9.com. All I sent him. And he said, and he replied back saying, wow, this looks interesting. Looking forward to seeing you. I went to go see him, Lucinda and I. So we did the conference, and we went to go see Jeffrey. We had breakfast with him, and we're chatting. Within 20 minutes, he's like, give me this thing. Where do I put it on? Where do I stick it on? He's that type of person. So I said, back of the neck. Okay, put it on. And he's sticking it on. He's going, oh my goodness, I want to de-age. This is so cool. He was like so excited about it. Anyway, long story short, he signed up at Silver. I signed up a person that's written 27 books on sales. And I thought, my goodness gracious me, how does this happen? It's just putting it out there. And what happened was we went up to New York, came back again. He invited us to his house. So we went and had coffee at his house in North Carolina. And he gave me the most amazing feedback. He said, Chris, you know, you followed everything to a T. You obviously listened to my recordings, and you obviously read my books properly. You didn't overwhelm me. And thank you for doing that. Most salespeople or most network marketers, you know what they do? They send too much information and they're overwhelmed. All you did was you sent me enough information just to know what's happening and to pique my curiosity. And he said, I want to say thank you for doing that. And I just wanted to share that with everybody tonight, because this is real feedback that I got from somebody that's been in the industry. And also, when we were talking about network marketing, he said, I've been in network marketing. My first company I joined was in 1971. I said to him, oh my word, I wasn't even born yet. And just had an amazing interaction with him. So that was a really cool little bit of feedback there. And yeah, just talking about drip feeding and giving people little bits of information and not overwhelming people. So now what we're going to talk about is
there's a big lesson there, and maybe not the first one, not the one you were talking about. Don't be afraid to knock on people's doors. Don't be afraid to knock on people's doors. And that's some people. I heard Steve Merritt say to a man who was obviously very wealthy, probably a multi-millionaire, and he said to him, he said, look, you know, you're probably not looking for an opportunity, but why would you leave your stem cells dormant for $3.30 a day? And the guy went, oh, yeah, so I've been using that. I've got some very wealthy people around, and we've had small conversations, and and again, without overwhelming, I reached out to both of them and I said, you know, this is a rhetorical question. You know, I know I've talked to you about this, but why would you leave your stem cells dormant for $3.30 a day? One of them got back to me already. He says, yo, I'm going to really look at this now. The other one I still haven't heard back from. So there was something else I wanted to say, but it'll come back, I'm sure.
Yeah, so it's, you know what, exactly what we were saying, George, is not being afraid to talk to people. Yeah, I was just bringing it back to what you were saying. You know, what we do is when we initially want to, now we talk about going down to basics, guys. You know, the basics, you've heard it before, is people think, oh, here goes Chris again. He used that word, that 2-lettered word. that swear word, name list. I know it seems so obvious, and you think, oh, name list, like really, Chris? Guys, I can't explain to you how important it is. And yes, we've got our contacts on our phones, but you know, we get busy, guys. We get extremely busy. Um, and you've got to, you tend to forget, and you can forget to follow up very quickly as well. And you know what? You talk about going back to basics, getting your pad of paper out, getting a pen, writing it down, because then you can track yourself. But the moment you've got a name list of 100 people, it gives you like a bit of an inner power, because you know what might happen? You might get shrugged off by 2 or 3 or 4 people. You know what? It's kind of like water off a duck's back, because you're sort of sitting there going, oh, I've still got like so many people to contact. Like I said, I'm not going to rehash it. We know the average person's got 472 people contacts on their cell phones. The biggest thing I want to talk about tonight is not prejudging, not prejudging. And you know where this comes from? This comes from conditioning. This comes from years of programming and conditioning. And what we do is we put people into little boxes. We either put them onto a pedestal, or we sort of downplay them, put them in certain areas. And when you're making that name list, you sort of prejudge and you go, I don't know, geez, this person, he's like an owner of a business. He's too busy, he's too wealthy, he's too this, he's too that. But you know, at the end of the day, you know, a person who is a businessman, a successful businessman, is not there by accident. And let me tell you something. Um, Everybody in this world, I don't care how much money you've got or how the size of your business, everybody is looking at an extra stream of income to supplement anything that they're doing in this world right now, because there are no certainties in this world. And I think a lot of us have seen that, specifically going through COVID. I mean, the the rug was pulled under the earth, everybody's feet all at the same time. I mean, the whole world just fell down, slap on their faces. A lot of people got hurt. Um, you got a lot of people that might not know me, don't know my story. I mean, I come from the children's toy industry. I ran a successful business for over 10 years, an international children's toy company. And you know what? I had my back against the wall. And eventually, because of COVID, I closed doors. But you know, everything in life happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. And the biggest thing I saw that happened with COVID is community. Everybody sticking together and everybody helping each other, because that's what us human beings do naturally. We all just want to help one another. And that's why every single one of us that are part of LifeWave, every single one of us on this call right now, all 31 people, guys, we're not here by accident. We've all been handpicked. We've all been chosen. There was a book that was written 30 years ago called Many Were Called, Few Were Chosen. And here we've got a very important job ahead of us. There's a lot of people out there that are sick. There's a lot of people that need help with their health. 1.5 billion people are suffering with health issues right now. Guys, there's 8 billion of us on the planet. 1.5 billion people suffering with health issues. And I can tell you what, other 7.5 billion people are suffering with wealth issues. They're suffering with wealth issues. People are battling, and we are here at the right time. And we're going to help people with their health, and we're going to help people with their health, wealth and health. That's what we can do with LifeWave. So, go for George.
So we call this, Chris touched on it in the beginning, we called it Don't Dance, or that's what I wanted to talk about, Don't Dance, so, and dealing with negativity. So Chris talked about people saying to themselves, no, I'm not going to call that person. So that's negativity within oneself. We also get negativity from other people. So the thing which is very important, there's something, I'm going to mute you, Desiree, because I think it's yours. Can I mute? I think there's noise coming. If not yours, okay. There's noise coming from somewhere. Anyways, okay. there's one's own negativity, which would say to you, no, I'm not going to call that person. So that people need to work on that in themselves. One of the things that really does help with that, as Onyx Cole always says, when this goes from your head to and it becomes engraved on your heart, there's nothing anybody can tell you about this. So, that is a place that we really wanted to find everybody. Everybody wants to find themselves in, where LifeWave really is engraved on their heart. And I think there's many people on this call who have got to that position. And the negativity of other people, oh, it's a scam. So I got a message today from a friend saying, would you talk to this person? And he screenshotted that somebody had told her it's a scam. So I said, hi, my name's George. I'm calling you about that scam. And totally disarmed her. And she called me and she said, oh, I apologize. No, it was just a joke and blah, 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 blah. She ended up signing up. So the question is not to let people get to you. And there's a bit of an art in doing that, and not to dance for people. I'm going to give an example out of this week because Heather's here on the call, Heather Howard Brown. So I hope you don't mind me referring to that, Heather. So Heather had some people who are really not well. This gentleman, and apparently he's been given a year to live. And she told him her story about her eyes, about the incredible improvement in her eyes. And then they said they were going to sign up. I think they did. And then they started looking for patents. And they're turning to Heather. Where's the patents? Where's the patents? It's not Heather's job to talk about patents. The company has patents. So, don't dance for people like this. If they say, in the end, I said to her, because it came back and forth, I said, tell them to get a patent lawyer, because they could only find one patent. And how many are in David Schmidt's name, and how many are in LifeWave's name? I did a little bit of research, and the X39 patent is in the name, it's David Schmidt in the name of another company. Companies use companies and companies. So it may be that patent's in one company and is licensed to LifeWave, but that's how companies.
Okay, is that George?
And a man who somebody got on the call with us, a guy who has 300,000 followers on one channel and 600,000 on the other channel. And whenever I say something, I get, and he asks more and more and more and more and more questions. And I'm helpful. I like to answer questions. But Javi said, I'm not coming on another call with him. And he said, don't dance. Don't dance. In the end, I said to the guy, you know what? I don't think this is for you. What do you mean it's not for me? He got really offended. I said, I don't think this is for you. So look, obviously, we want to give people answers to their questions, but don't allow them to make you dance in that sense. If it's something that you can't answer, you say, listen, here's the email or here's the phone number of corporate, call them. If it's a question they can't answer, they'll pass it up, they'll give you an answer. So it's back to what I was saying. It was not Heather's job to know all about every single patent that LifeWave has. But for a moment, she was feeling put upon. She was feeling short of breath, she's nodding her head. And that's the bit where you have to recognize that and go, oh, well, wait a minute. What I've got is amazing. It's helping me. It's helped so many people that I've come to know. And we have something that we were willing to share with you if you care to. Otherwise, don't worry about it. Cultivate the attitude. Chris said to somebody the other day, and he verbalized it, and I've always thought it. But he said to me something the other day. He said to somebody, I want you, but I don't need you. So I would love you in my team, but I don't need you in your team. And cultivate that attitude in you. I think Jan's on the call here today. And she sent me a message, and I said, cultivate that attitude, because that means obviously it's easier to cultivate that attitude if you've built an organization that's beginning to cook. But even at the beginning, my thought is, I always say I'm in a hurry, but I'm never in a hurry. I'm never going to show anybody I'm in a hurry, and cultivate that attitude. I want you. I talk to you. I say to a lot of people who I don't know. A waitress the other day, somebody who phones to sell me something. I'd love to have you on your team, on my team, and they go, "What's that about?" So, but you don't need to have anybody. Obviously, we need to have some people to make it grow, but it's important to have that in your head. We would like you. We would love to share this with you, but we don't need you, even though you need LifeWave. I don't know. So that's really very much what I wanted to talk about. And when the people give you like their, oh, it's a scam, or it's a this, or it's a that, or don't let them get to you. Put a bigger smile on your face and go, oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's interesting. I'll see what I can find out for you. Or let me get back to you. Or, you know what, why don't you get, if that's what you're really thinking, why don't you get on a call with my upline? Chris is happy to take any call. I'm happy to take any call. And over the course of this time, I've talked with some very interesting characters. Okay, I'll stop there for a moment. Give it back to you, sir.
No, thanks, George. I like what you touched on there. When people are asking all these technical questions, I find it very strange or interesting. What would happen is if a person's got a certain ailment, an illness, what they'll do is they'll go to the doctor, and the doctor will sit there and they will get their little pad out and they'd write out a script and say, here we go, here's your script, and you must go and get onto this tablet. Now, what's interesting is they will blindly take that piece of paper, the script from the doctor, and they will go to the pharmacy, hand it in, and they're going to be getting this set of tablets every single month. And you know what? I don't think they ask, has this been approved by this? What testing has been done on this tablet? What are the contraindications? How come they don't ask those types of things when they're knowingly putting chemicals and poisons into your body? They don't ask how long they can be on the script for, because the doctor gives it to you, the script, open-ended. You can be on this tablet till whenever, but people don't ask about that. Then they get exposed to something like LifeWave, which is like alien technology for people. They're like, what? People have never heard of this before. People have never heard of it. I didn't hear about it when George shared LifeWave with me. So it's a complete paradigm shift, if you think about it, complete paradigm shift. But then all of a sudden people need to become investigators. Now they want to know about every single case study, this, that, patent, cross T's, dotted R's, this, that. And I'm thinking to myself, where does this come from? It just comes from years and years of programming and conditioning. So it's going to take a while to reprogram, to unlearn a whole lot of stuff, to relearn new things. So what happens is when people are going through this process, I call it analysis causes paralysis. Analysis causes paralysis. And it just basically immobilizes people. And then, I have a look when people ask me all these different types of questions. The biggest thing for me is I don't need to know all the ins and outs and the details of all this stuff. There's enough for me. I have a look at the company's been around for 19 years. That was one of the biggest things when George shared LifeWave to me. One of the first questions I asked him, how long has this company been around? And he said to me, 19 years. I just went, oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness. Not here today, gone tomorrow. I think we've all been through this merry-go-round. One word stuck out in my head was the word stability. Guys, if a company is producing a rubbish product, something that doesn't work, the company is not still going to be in business after 2 decades and still 10x its turnover. I mean, really, people need to be realistic, get realistic with that. And then patents. Now, I know a thing or two about patents because of my toy business. Now, by law, and this is what I say to people when people try and challenge me, I say, you know what? By law, did you know that a company may not get a patent if the product does not do what the company says that the product is going to do? Because guess what? That is against the law. a company can get closed down because of that. So Lifeway doesn't have 10, doesn't have 20, doesn't even have 100, doesn't even have 120. Guys, Lifeway's got 150 patents. That is enough information I need. I mean, if I look at getting into a car, I put my key in the ignition, start the car, if it gets me from A to B. I don't know how all the ins and outs of how an engine works, but I know this can get me from A to B. I know this product works. I know what this product has done for me. I know what it's done for my mom. I know what it's done for Lucinda. I know what it's done for hundreds of people. We get hundreds of testimonies every single day. Many times we don't say the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the patch, guys. The proof is in the patch. And that's all I need to know. We've seen miracles unfold in front of our eyes every single day. So when people challenge you, you know what? You've got to have a bit more of a
Posture.
posture. Yes,
Posture.
you've got to have a bit of posture. And I've said to people, I say, you know what? I've got to the point now where, you know what, I'd really like you to be part of my business. I'd really like you to, but you know what? I'm going to be very blunt with you. I don't need you in my business. And you know what that does? It's a bit of a reverse psychology there, because it gives you that little bit of confidence where, you know what, I've got something that that this person needs. And it just totally changes things around. You know what it does? The person goes, wait, hang on, whoa. No. What I mean is, okay, what, send me that information. What are you saying? Another person's listening to you. It changes the whole dynamics of the conversation and the interaction, eh, George?
I have a friend who lives in tremendous pain, has to do 4 hours of exercises every single day, lying on her back, just to survive from one day to the next. And I told her about it, and she says, "Oh, I'm busy." And then it's Christmas, and then my phone doesn't have a battery, and then it's the trade fair. And I said something. She said, "You're very arrogant." That's very arrogant. I said, "Yeah, but I can be. I've seen the results." And finally, she says to me, "Well, maybe when your daughter's coming to England, could bring me some samples." So at that point, I sent her a sleeve. So I'm waiting to see what the patch does there. But it's like I take the long view with everybody who I'm interacting with. I still follow up with people from months ago. And when I'm in the mood, I woke up this morning, when I came out of the shower this morning, and I thought of 2 people I hadn't talked to for a while. I just sent them a couple of WhatsApps, and let's see, I have fun with it, because I know what I've got here. I know what we're offering people, what we can do for people, when they open their minds to using the X39. And a little bit, Chris, at the beginning, he talked about not overwhelming people, and that's normal right in the beginning. A lot of times, but I was very deliberate when I said I told Javi, Chris is going to come in with this with me, and Chris had no idea, and Chris was overwhelmed. Chris, there was no way to get to his brains. And he's probably told people, and some of you know this, some of you don't, but on a call I saw him, and I kind of private messaged him saying, "You're looking like 4-letter word." And he's like, "Thanks for the compliment." I said, "Yeah, but I can help you." But then after that, I didn't overwhelm him. I was every
Second or
3,
third day.
4 days sending him something, but not too much. But I was also, I haven't said this bit before, I was also listening to if there was any feedback from Chris, any response from him. And that kind of guided me about the next thing I sent him until, yeah. And, thank you, sir. I'm glad we got you, because, look at what we've done in South Africa. Look at the changes that have come because of the people that you've reached out to. It's you never know who knows who and what's going to happen, but we're reaching into all sorts of communities and helping all sorts of people. Desiree, her son, Kenneth, her husband, Joss, just to speak of one family, people who are not on this call, so many stories. I just say thank you, Lord, because there is so little in this world at the moment that you can turn around and say, this is positive. Just, and for $100 a month, what are you even talking about? Never mind. I understand South African money is different to our money. But at the same time, it's really, if I think of Wilson, who's on this call, he told that his mother had an injection. I think it was 20,000 Rand. I muddled up with your money, but it was around $2,000 for one injection that lasted a week. The patch, the first time she put the patch on, she got out of bed after 1 day, after 1 hour, having been in bed for 6 months. Stories like that you don't hear. These are miracles. But people don't want to, they want to say miracles don't exist, or it's too good to be true. But anyways, listen, I think we should also ask people here if they want to say something, if they got something to share, a question about all of this, or difficulties that they're going through with, reaching to people, and so we can give more specific thoughts. If you're cool with that.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think that's a good idea. Because we all, we all learn from each other. I just looked at the date now, and I didn't realize that I'm 10 months, because we're in September now, right? September, October.
Yeah, and I'm almost at the year in the
yeah,
6th
I'm
of
10 months. I always thought it was 9. I thought it was 9 months. So I've actually
and I
lost
thought
a
it was
month.
10. It's 11.
Yeah. You know what? The month we spent in the US, I think that's where we lost a month. So yes, 10 months in, and I've just got so much gratitude towards LifeWave. And George, thank you for being persistent. And I think everybody on this call can learn something from George's approach to me. So, like as you say, it was middle of October. George did. We were on the same Zoom call, and he sent me a very weird message going, "Hey, just out of the blue, hey Chris, you look like shit." And I was like, well, thank you for the compliments. Okay, guys, don't go and approach prospects like George approached me. They might not take it the right way.
You never know. Everybody's different, so you have to play with it. You have to play with it. In my view, you have to play with it.
No, that was a very different approach. But the thing is, guys, what I want to really get through tonight is George's persistence with me. George didn't give up because I was busy, and I'll be honest, I was burnt out, and I was borderline depression end of last year, and George sent me a couple of messages, and I think a few I didn't even thumbs up, I didn't reply, and he put, you know what I did, guys, I was so rude. I gave George radio silence. I gave him radio silence. And you know what? George didn't take that personally.
George didn't give an English expression. George didn't give him monkeys. Harry knows that expression, I'm sure. George didn't give him monkeys. He just went on doing what he did because he was very clear that Chris was going to be doing this. And the things are now unfolding in your life that you didn't see the way to do that. And you've also got a very clear path for the future. And, like Chris, me after COVID, I was all over the place because one of my projects I put heart and soul and passion into, 2 years, lots of money, it was for the restaurant world. We had huge response. We were about having $1.5 million being put in by for somebody to open it in America. The head of the Restaurant Association of UK, the head of the Restaurant Association of South Africa wanted us to come and talk about it to the top restaurants, blah, blah, blah. COVID came in, every restaurant was shut. The big Spanish company, massive Spanish company we were talking to for Spain, had priorities changed. The billionaire's right-hand man died for America. It all fell apart. Other things were not working out the way they had done previously. So I was actually looking for something to put my energy into that can also repay me, and to find something that you're helping so many people with their lives and it's also repaying you in the way that it does. That's for me was amazing. and I could see at the beginning, but I wasn't thinking about it from the money point of view in the beginning. It was this video of David Schmidt speaking to health professionals, talking about light. And I've always been interested in light medicine. And I know, you know, some of you have seen this book, but yeah, I bought this book, The Electric Body, in the late 70s or early 80s. And it was so kind of advanced at the time. It was like, okay, this is very interesting, but I don't know. And then it was like, Chris used the word alien technology before. For me, it wasn't alien technology. It was like, oh, finally somebody's doing it. And that's yeah. Do you want to talk about, Chris, before other people, what's unfolding in your life because of LifeWave and the money, the changes that's brought to you?
Yeah, I just wanted to reiterate on the gratitude that I have for LifeWave, for what it's done for me mentally, physically, emotionally, on every single level. The way it has changed my life. So, as a lot of maybe a few people on the call don't know, so George was very persistent with me, which I'm very grateful for. So don't ever think that if you get radio silence from somebody, right, that they're ignoring you. They're not ignoring you. People are in different, they're processing different things, they're in different seasons. You got to understand, every 90 days is a different season. So people could either be in winter, summer, autumn, whatever. People are in different seasons. So if a person is sort of ignoring you, they're actually not. There's a lot happening in the background. And I know where I've spoken to some people 3-4 months later, and they say, no, we've been researching, we've been looking at it, we've been meaning to get back to you. So don't think that you're being a pest. Don't think you've been a pest. Now, what I learned from Jeffrey Gitomer, he gave me permission. He said, Chris, because I said something about, I'm going to be like a little mozzie, I'm going to get you up to scratch, and I'm going to send you info. And he said, Chris, just a word of advice, whatever you do not send me more than one bit of information at a time. You're more than welcome to send me info every 2 or 3 days, which I can handle that. And I actually took that lesson to heart, and that's what I do. So don't ever think you're pestering anybody. Don't think you're ever getting in the way, because they will read the right thing at the right time. So
there's a big networker in Spain who somebody in my first line on my left leg talked to 6 months ago, and he said not really interested right now, but suddenly he appeared excuse me, on my downline on my right leg, but not in my team, in the spillover team, and somewhere below Chris. And the person in my first line said, I talked to him 6 months ago. And now I said, yeah, but you made a mistake. You talked to him, but you didn't follow up. You didn't continue. So there's a lesson for you here. Continue. If you believe in a person and believe in what you're doing, continue to reach out to them.
Completely. Like I say, the fortune is in the follow-up. So important, guys. So important. So Harry's got his hand up. There we go.
Mute.
Hello, everybody. Hello, mate. I tell you what I've noticed. I've been in it about 3 weeks, but since I started building, I've noticed the people above me, and that's something I've noticed, that it's starting to. I don't know if that's because I'm building at the bottom, but but I found that a lot of people now are starting to come in. It's like when I first joined, it was very slow, but I'm finding it's they're nothing to do with me. They're not my referrals, but that line is starting to build. So I have noticed in the last couple of weeks, it's started to, I mean, these calls must be helping, because people, it looks like, and there's a lot of people I believe that are still stuck in the lines that don't know about this. And that's good, that thing, I don't know if you're going to mention that to everyone in here, Chris, and George. Yeah, sorry. It's been one of those days. Sorry. Sorry, George. I don't know if you're going to mention about how you can find people that are in your downline, and then if it's not in that language, I'm trying to get George to do an email for me. I just thought it might be a good idea to mention that on this call. That's all. That's all I've got to say anyway. For a change.
Well, thank you, Harry. Look, it's a process. This is another part of it, which is really key. It's a process for everybody at every stage where they're at. You say that you've been here 3 weeks. It feels like maybe 5 months, but anyways, you've already gone through a whole lot of process to be with the thoughts that you have today, different to the thoughts you had before you're thinking, am I gonna try this X39 stuff or not? So as part of the process, another great part of the process is supporting the people and learning how to support the people who you discover in your downline, not the people you are directly invite, but 3, 4, 5, 6 levels away from you.
Yeah, sorry, that's something that you taught me, because I would have never found you if you didn't come down and find me.
Yeah.
And I would have never got this sort of support and knew about the 3-3 room or the testimony. Yeah, I would have done, because Fury would have told me all about it. But if I was someone new and didn't have that structure from Fury or Chris, or I didn't know any of you lot when I first joined. It's only Fury that knew this, but there's going to be a lot of people that are signing people up that don't know that we've got this structure.
So, something I learned from Javi, and the guys, some of you have met Javi, many of you have met Javi, not everybody has, but Javi, he always would say to me, I go down into the depth, and I always said, the money's in the deep, which is what I learned from a network company I was involved with in the mid-2000s, which I didn't continue with because they said, lead with the opportunity, forget about the product. And it was really like going uphill with the wind in your face because everybody's got vitamins, another story. But after 4 months, I said to Javi, in 4 months, you had 900 people in your organization. I had 350. What's the difference? And he said, I identify leaders. All leaders identify themselves. What does that mean? Harry just said something. I saw Harry in action. I go, who is this guy? Going to reach out, watch what's going on in your organization. If a name keeps popping up in recent activity list, 4 or 5 times in a day, find out who that person is, see if they need any help. People, like Javier always says, a lot of people, they put 500 or more in, and the person who's invited them is so happy they got somebody, they forget that they really need to give them help afterwards, because they need to know what to do next, because a lot of people now so Javi said to me something which was so obvious, but beyond obvious, and I'd never thought of it. And that was, when you're doing a Zoom call or when you're with people, say to them, who wants to do this? Who wants to do this? So the next Zoom I did, there was a woman on the call, and they said to me, she's bought a course on network marketing and she really wants to do this. And all I saw was a line across her forehead like that. I got no vibe from her at all. Anyway, I came to the point in the call and I said, you know what? I would love to know who on this call, there was about 8, 9 people, wants to do this. Everybody put their hand up except the lady with the line across their head. So it's really us people. Do you want to do this? Do you want to build? If you want to build, let me help you. We go, like Happy says, go where the energy flows. Don't want to get, I have one person who I'm supporting as much as possible, but she keeps saying to me, this one, he's not doing anything. This one, he's not doing anything. This one, I said, forget about it. By you cracking the whip with them every single day, they're just going to stop answering your messages. You have to, they have their process. In the case of one of the people, he's a very busy man with his building business, but he's had a great result with his father-in-law. The father-in-law meant his wife starts to believe, because so it's a process at every stage of the game. And like I said before, I'm in a big hurry, but I'm never in a hurry. So you have to understand that for people, it's a process. But some of you have heard me, or many of you have heard me say, count me to help you. So and Javi always talks about leadership lid. You know, as you go through this and you're working with this, you get better and better at guiding people, and you get better and better at not dancing for people, which is what this call was all about. So that the help that you'll give them is not costing you massive amounts of energy, is more and more to the point. And I'll give an example. One of the ladies in my first line, she calls me with the first person she invited. She was all, this person says it's a scam and it's a this and it's a that and the other. And I said, you know what, let's see if we can turn around and make her the best ambassador for LifeWave. Yeah, then she was, and she had fibromyalgia. So stories sell, facts tell. Stories sell. Chris's mother's story with fibromyalgia. I used Deepal.com, translated it into Spanish. I sent that to my first line person to send it to her, and I said, let's arrange a call with the husband of somebody else in my first line who's medical. He comes from the world of medical laboratories. They had a 5-minute call, and she went, okay, doubtful, but I'll get a bronze pack. 10 days later, she was on gold. And just like your mum, she's able to go. Actually, I think she was the one who first went to a shopping center at 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock at night. And your mum was able to do that again, which neither of these women had been able to do. So this is share stories, support. Don't get stressed when people say it's a scam, it's a this, it's a that. Maybe, but what I can tell you is this: put a smile on your face, smile in your mind.
Couldn't agree with you more. And you know what? People pick up on it. It's all about energy. It's all about frequency. And there's someone that's always got a big smile on his face. Is my brother Wilson there, which I'm going to see tomorrow. I'm going to ask him to talk in a second. But you know what? When it comes to people, you're either working for somebody, you're either working with somebody, you're either working through somebody. And this is what we talk about, working in the deep, working through the people and creating the fire, burning from underneath. But something that's very important, guys, when a person joins, when a person signs up, the moment they've joined and they get an email, they're a brand partner, guess what? I'm going to give you guys a bit of a shocking news tonight. Guess what? When a person signs up, guess what they are? They're still a prospect. They might have signed up. They might have signed up. Listen, guys, to sign up is the easiest thing. I think an 8-year-old, you give them the registration link, they sign up, borrow their credit card, and they've signed up. Guys, that's the easy part, the sign up. That means nothing. Person is still a prospect, even after they've signed up. It's only until they get plugged into the system, they get put onto a group, and they have a starter session.
Exposure.
Hey guys, exposure. You've just joined. What do? They don't even know how to use the back office. They've signed up, but they'll go back onto lifewave.com and can't get in. No, because it's backoffice.com, LifeWave. We've got to expose the people and say, guys, how do you get started? Have a bit of an orientation. This is how the back office works. This is how you log in. This is where the tools are. This is the group. This is the Telegram group. Here's the toolbox. Helping people get started properly. Find what happens is people sign people up and they get dumped. People get signed up and get dumped. And then we are trying to find all the people. We're trying to be the little safety nets to find the people and to help them. Because I find all the way down my level 7, level 8, level 9, level 10, I don't know who signed them up and they haven't got the information. So this is where we all need to make sure that the information flows down, which is like so vitally important. I just wanted to mention that and get people onto the groups, get people plugged in, because on the group, there's an energy. There's a certain energy. People get connected into the energy, the emotion, the excitement, the everything. And I just say, put the group on silent. As Harvey says, eat the meat, spit out the bones. Not everything might be for you. But I see Mr. Wilson is on the call. We were chatting earlier on today. My brother, how are you doing?
Well, and you, Buddy, sorry I'm a bit late, but I'm rather late than never.
Look at your
How you
hair.
guys
Look at
doing?
your hair.
Yes,
Little
man.
flappies
Can
are
you see
growing,
me?
eh?
It's
Ah, look at
getting
that.
there. Yeah,
Wow.
I'm still far away from throwing my hair back, but I'm definitely seeing a massive improvement. Not just that, I'm sleeping a lot better, which has been a problem for me. I used to be a DJ for a long time and a night warrior, and now I'm sleeping like a baby. I wake up in the morning early and get cracking with a lot of energy. I mean, I'm healthy. I don't have any major health issues, but yeah, I'm just humbled. I'm really grateful for what's happening in this community, and you know my outlook towards this. Yes, I like the fact that we earn in dollars. There's lots of money to be made, but for me, it's about the stories that's now happened within our team, and that's just picking up momentum. I mean, if I look at Harry coming into the business 3 weeks ago, not knowing what it is, really biting his teeth into it, and then very quickly the testimonies that's coming, and he's seeing exactly the power of what we're busy with here. This is not like anything else I've ever done. Yeah, the patch does the work for us, and it's just getting people to start using them, and it takes time. Harry didn't sign up immediately. He didn't. I told him about it. I drip feeded him info. I kept going with him. It was months later, and look at what's happened. All of a sudden, he pulled the trigger, and he's like, the penny dropped. He was like, okay, let's go. And I can't keep up with him. Like it's hard for me. I'm not gonna lie, but I love it, and I love his energy, and like that's what this is about. You don't know who the person is that's gonna knock it out the park, and I've got amazing leaders in my team, and they're all working hard. And the end goal for me here is how many people can we help? We're changing lives, and not in a small way, in a big way. I mean, Harry had sleep apnea. I think it was a week later, he didn't use his machine. I mean, he had to sleep with a machine on him. This was in the first 7 days. A week ago, I patched a guy that hurt his back. He couldn't walk. 7 days later, he could swing from a chandelier. And I mean, he went to physio. They couldn't help him. He's on pain medication. Here's this stupid little sticker. People look at it, they laugh at it. They're like, how can this thing do what it does? And they're like, say all snotty comments like, this will never work. And they stick it on, and they're like, got these big eyes, and they're like, what is this? That was the response I got from my mom. I mean, crazy medication, like back's really broken, the vertebrae in between our 4 or 5 cracked, disintegrating. She was on these stickers for 3 months, and she could pick stuff up off the floor without an operation. Yes, she now went for the operation, healed from it like nobody's ever seen. The doctor even asked her, what are you doing? Her scars healed within 4 weeks. She could walk 2 weeks later. The doctor's like, what's going on here? Like, people that's done this operation takes 4 weeks to walk. 2 weeks later, she's like trotting around in the house. And so, yeah, for me, that's where I'm at. It's a life and death thing here, guys. Like, there's people in our community that's hurting, and if we don't get to them, this could change their life, and not just their physical life, but over time their financial life. Yes, it takes time to build, but this isn't going anywhere. I spoke to a guy today. He has the capability of rolling this out into 100 countries. I told him, before we even get started, here's some stickers. Let's get you better. You're not feeling well. Let's start there. Let's get results. Once you've got a story, then I'm here to help you. So, yeah, I mean, this is a process. This isn't a quick fix, even with the stickers. Sometimes it's going to take time. And this process of communicating, sometimes I fail in it as well. I would send somebody something without asking them how they're doing, which is the main thing that irritates me the most about people trying to prospect me into things. Asking me how my day was, start there. Or send me a meme and get me laughing, and then open the door of how's it going. And I'm still learning as I do this. I mean, now that we're getting some traction, I'm learning from the people that's coming in. I'm learning from you. I'm learning from Harry. I'm learning from everybody that's giving us support. And just on that note, you know, guys, I've been involved in many things. I've looked at many things. I've never in my life had support like this. I can phone 5 people And it's people that like I'm so far down in their network, but they're there. Okay, sometimes people are busy and we can't get a hold of them immediately because we're all working. But I've never seen support like this. George, you an absolute animal. I've never in my life had support from anybody like you. Never. And, you know, like I can just say thank you. And Chris, the same thing. You're busy. You're rocking and rolling. Harry's now also busy with you, and we're helping him. Very soon he's flying. We're not going to hear from him. And this is what it's about. We need to get people at that point where the penny drops and they start moving and they run with it. Some people's going to do it in their first 5 days. I mean, with Harry, he got the stickers on and the penny dropped. Boom. And he's getting cracking. And I mean, he's signing up the one person after the other. Other people, it's going to take them a bit longer. And it's okay. We take people where they're at. But yeah, for me, I'm just getting more and more fired up. And I'm also here to assist people. And it took me a while, guys. It took me a while to get to this point where I am now. And I don't sign up many people. That's not my strategy. Yes, I want to sign up 10 people a week. That would be great. But I'm only going after people that could duplicate this. That's my strategy. And I'm working with those people and getting them to duplicate this. And again, you can only work with the people that wants to work it. I can't give all my energy to everybody because there's people just using the product. I need to go after the people that's going after it. And I'm here for everybody, but it's being selective on the people who you help. And it's not a selfish thing. I'm here for anybody. Anybody that signed up me directly can phone me at any time if they need assistance. Doesn't matter what happened. But you need to focus on the people that's moving and get them moving so it duplicates. And then it's just finding the next person. So for me, I'm not just on fire. I want to now get the next guy that's going to also knock it out the park in the first 5 days. And then I want to get the next guy. And, you know, that's not where I'm at. But this is a process. And just keep on being persistent. It took months for me to get Harry to actually order stickers. It didn't happen overnight. It didn't happen. He's busy with other things. He's a boss networker, also fingers in a lot of pies. And it was the timing. It was timing. And the moment the timing was there, then everything changed. And now I'm going to have to put so much work in on my weaker leg because there's so much volume happening there that I'm not getting paid on. And it's just this energy effect that is going to help everybody that's now on my weaker leg. And that's how this works. It took months. So yeah, every morning I now wake up and I start drip feeding the people that I've been after and just being more aggressive with that. I'm not doing it every second or third day. I used to do it once a week because there's certain people that I want to get in here. I've got about 5 top leaders that I've been drip feeding stuff and they're just not getting in. And I'm now at the point where I'm like, guys, you don't pull the trigger here. It's going to hurt people within your network. This stuff changes lives.
Tell them what I heard Steve Merritt say to that a very, very wealthy man. Why would you want to leave your stem cells dormant when you can wake them up for $3.30 a day?
Yeah.
Makes no sense. And that people remember. They remember that when you tell them that, because it's like, is he for real here? So anyway, I use that a lot now, and I encourage you guys to also use that. Why would you leave your stem cells dormant when you can bring them to life for $3.30 a day, especially for wealthy people?
No, Wilson, I tell you what, I'm so glad you touched on timing. You hit the nail there, timing, my brother. Yeah, carry on.
It was the biggest thing I learned in the last couple of months. And it was just persistency. And like, to be quite honest, I think I would have got him a little earlier if I was a bit more aggressive. And that's one of the reasons why I'm now getting a bit more aggressive, because it's a time thing for me. I feel like if people don't do this now, there's people in their network that's suffering, and we can stop that like this. It might take a week, it might take a month, but very, very quickly we can make a difference. And if it wasn't for Harry doing what he's doing, I wouldn't have been where I'm at now. being more aggressive. I've got leaders that need to come in there. They've got networks. There's people that's sitting with serious issues. Harry, I see you got your hand up there. I don't know if you want to unmute yourself there.
Yeah.
He's given me a kick up the butt that I needed. And, you know, this is important. I urge all my people in my network to go back to the people that we've been sending info and getting more aggressive and say, guys, you must see what's going on here. We're saving people's lives. You're not pulling the trigger here is actually going to hurt someone. So I'm going to get more aggressive. And if you don't like it, block me. It's okay. But I'm going to get the point across here. Yes, Harry.
I agree with what you're saying. And I totally agree. Yeah, it took me a little bit of time. Yeah, it was right. But the biggest problem we've got now, and we both know this, me and you, because we come from a different industry. I come from crypto. A lot of people in the room know that. But come tomorrow, I've got 4 of the biggest crypto players in the world about to join this. And it will change it, totally change it. And they're people, you know who they are.
Yeah.
You know exactly who they are. And they will absolutely, they'll understand it, but they will build it like we've never seen anything. It's being built at the moment, but the boys that we're bringing in, they'll make this look like a playground.
Yeah. And that's what it is. You know what
Well,
I like?
I'm going to add one thing here. Time will tell. I try and keep on an even keel. Some will, some won't, even when they're in. Hopefully they do. But time will tell with everybody. I have that about everybody and everything now. Time will tell.
I'd have been a director today.
Well, oh dear. I'm looking forward to it. But,
Sure.
Yes. That gets me excited.
It's important to keep on an even keel, even though we are very excited about certain people, or sometimes we think that person won't do or won't be, and then they surprise you. So really, it's very important to keep that time will tell attitude.
Yeah, no, I'm just excited, and these sessions are very important. And if people miss them, please go look at the recordings. We had a great session last week. I also had a session explaining to people how I communicate on WhatsApp. Please go look out for that. We've done training on social medias. Go look at these things. These training sessions is how we're going to get the duplication going, because every person's timing is different. And the people that stick their hand up that wants to do it, go look at what's been shared here. There's some golden nuggets that's been shared with people. And I'm in the business of duplication here, guys. That's what I want here. We get duplication, we're going to help more people. It's not a money thing for me whatsoever. Yes, I want to earn in dollars and we get paid weekly and it's great. But I want to keep on saving lives and get it to pick up momentum. And the only way to do that is by getting the leaders on these calls, getting people excited, getting them to say the right things, getting them to be persistent. And that's how we're going to reap the rewards here. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
Well, thank you, my brother. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. So anybody in the Pretoria area, Centurion, we're meeting between 12 o'clock and 4 o'clock, having a nice little get together. We're just going to meet up, have some coffee. Jacques, I'm going to see you tomorrow. For the first time, we've known each other for about a good couple of years. We're going to meet for coffee for the first time tomorrow. Cannot wait to give you the biggest hug, my brother. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. And that's what it's all about, guys, is yes, you become part of LifeWave.
De-virtualize as much as possible. We live in a virtual world, but Chris and I, when I met Chris in Tampa, I kept saying to him, I didn't believe he was going to be so tall. He's the same height as me. I was trying to imagine how, then I had to imagine. Well, no. I mean, Javi's like Javi and Olga, different size, powerful characters, but different size. And I kind of had figured Chris was going to be up to here on me, and same as like 3-4 times. And we hung out together and for most of the event, and even though we were diving often, but we got to know each other in a way that you don't do, or put it this way, we got to deepen our knowledge of each other by meeting, by de-virtualizing, by meeting, as they say, in the flesh. So I encourage everybody to do that as much as possible. I'm very happy. For example, today, Javi doing an event in Glendale, California, and one of the people who's in Mark's team is going to go to that event in Glendale, California, and meet Javi personally. And this is very, very powerful as well when those sort of things happen. And by the way, if you didn't see the call with Mark, he really crushed it yesterday. A lot of people love that call. So does somebody else have something to say? I know Chris likes to break off early, but I'm always like to hear what people say. Anybody wants to say something? It looks like Desiree wants to say, please.
There we go. Unmute. There we go.
Yes, I think I've done that. Thanks, Chris.
Okay.
I just want to, having listened to the last events that have just taken place now, which is very exciting. I just want to say, we mustn't forget it's teamwork. Teamwork is dream work. And we must understand that. And to make it duplicatable, it's not about who's going to be the greatest or the biggest, because this is an industry with wonderful integrity, with the right slant, the right way. We're doing everything. I think we just need to remember that. I think we need to remember that it's about the teams. It's about other people. It's about helping other people worldwide, sharing it. One of the, I think it was Steve Merritt said, it's our duty to share. It's our duty to share this wonderful gift. And I just want to say that, we must just remember it's teamwork. Thank you.
Share it as much as possible all day long. Hey, a new insurance agent today called me, and I'm sending her the information.
There we go. There we go.
George. I had 2 medical aid companies phone us today, and both of them have been given StartX 39.
Oh, brilliant. Guys, I tell you what, it's, you become part of LifeWave, but you also become part of a bigger community. You become part of a family, and we become like family, and we can count on each other any time of the day. We all know that. So I'm humbled. In a state of gratitude. I'm grateful for everything. I'm grateful for everybody. And, from my side, I just want to say thank you to every single one of you. Thank you to everybody taking the time out for being on the call. And we can just share from each other. The only difference I have with anybody on the call is I might have a month or 2 experience more, but you know what? That means nothing. I learn from every single person in the group. I learn from every single person on this call. I learn from everybody all the time, and that's what it's all about. So from my side, I just want to say thank you, George. Thank you so much. Thank you, Desiree. Thank you, Wilson. Thank you, Harry. Thank you to everybody that gave a bit of input tonight. And you know what? I think more training is coming up. I'd love to get more people.
I think we got a strong arm, Javi, to come and join us on one of these calls. And I also think what Wilson said, even though the Thursday calls, we often do training. I think these kind of calls as well, a little more
important.
replying with back and forth and interaction. I think they're also very important.
Yeah, this has been like a bit of a sort of like a nice community call tonight, something we haven't done for a while. So it's been quite awesome. Very cool. Okay, guys. Well, enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll see you guys on the training on Saturday evening. So my side, good night. God bless. Look after yourselves. Love you all. Chat to you all soon. All right. Bye, guys. Everybody.
Thank you.